Let's say you want a hot hatchback, but you don't want to look like a boy racer. Just get yourself a Volkswagen Golf R and it's job done. Or is it? You see, for just a bit extra cash, you can get its slightly posher brother, the Audi S3. So, which one should you have? Well, I'm here to help you decide.
The Audi S3 Sportback costs from just under £36,000, but you can save almost £3,000 off one through CarWow. The Golf R, meanwhile, costs from £33,000, but you can get an average saving of £4,000 through CarWow by clicking on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen. So the decision's a no-brainer, right? Well, not necessarily, because at this price, a hot hatch must not only be fun, but desirable too.
Most people who look at this car just go, yeah, that's a Golf. However, they will think it looks slightly nicer, though they won't be able to understand why, because the styling kit is very, very subtle. In fact, you have no idea that this car is as fast as it is.
You could say the Golf R flies too far under the radar. Even this one, which is actually fitted with an upgraded styling kit that costs extra. And that's where the Audi comes in.
The S3 manages to be sporty without being too showy, and subtle, yet still stylish. It gets the balance just right. It's a little bit better balanced than I clearly am. I always fell over.
Speaking of falling, you're more likely to fall in love with this car's interior than the Golf's.
Being an Audi, the interior of the S3 feels suitably posh. Quality is good as well, and you get some added sporty trinkets for this S model. So you get a flat bottom steering wheel, some S badging here, S badging on the gear selector as well, and you get leather sport seats as standard, though these seats are actually upgraded super sport seats with a slightly wider back. Now, if you want the upgraded infotainment system with like Google Maps and all the Wi-Fi connectivity and stuff like that, and the digital driver's display, you have to pay extra. It's not standard, and that's a bit annoying, really.
The Volkswagen is a bit annoying too, but for the complete opposite reasons.
The inside of this car is good, but it's not great. You do get some sporty trinkets though, like this flat-bottomed R steering wheel. You also get sport seats, though they're not leather. If you want leather seats in this car, you have to pay £1,800 extra, which is annoying. What's less annoying is the fact that with the R, you get the top of the range Navi system. It's really nice, easy to use. You also get digital dials as standard, and I like that.
However, while the Golf gets more tech as standard, it doesn't get leather. It's a cost option, whereas it's included on the Audi. And really, the kit list, as well as the interior and exterior designs, are what differentiate the Golf R and S3, because under the skin, they are effectively the same car. Same basic mechanical components, same 310 horsepower 2-litre turbocharged engine, and same all-wheel drive system. They are pretty much identical when it comes to interior space too. So much so, my review of each one's practicality is totally interchangeable.
The bit of the Golf R is slightly smaller than the normal Golf, and that's because part of the all-wheel drive system has a rear differential which goes underneath the boot floor, don't have the and it means that you don't have this extra underfloor storage like you would do in the normal car.
There is something slightly different with these particular cars though. The Golf comes with a manual gearbox, but you can upgrade to an automatic for an extra £1,800, whereas the Audi is an auto only. And as well as offering a more relaxing drive, automatics are also good for something else, as I'll demonstrate now.
So I want to see the difference between the auto and the manual, bearing in mind that everything else is the same. So that has launch control. This has human control. So we'll see just how good I am at launching it, because we're going to have a drag race.
3, 2, 1.
I got a good start there. But it counts for nothing. Oh my gosh, how's that pulled so far ahead? My launch was epic, but it just bogged down a bit and... yeah, that's over.
So, if you end up in an away from the lights race in a Golf R, you'd want the automatic.
But if you encounter a twisty road, you're going to want this manual, because it's just a little bit more fun, and you can heel and toe because the pedals are nicely spaced. It's actually pretty good. In fact, that brings us onto the handling of this Golf, because it grips and it goes because of that all-wheel drive system, and it's playful though at the same time. So they've really made this chassis quite adjustable. You lift off the throttle mid-corner and the cord tighten its line. You can even turn the stability all the way off and do little slides. It's a fun car. It's genuinely good fun, which is surprising for a Golf. It's not quite as sharp to drive as a Honda Civic Type R if you want the ultimate hot hatch, but then it doesn't look like it's been designed by a child. It's a sensible car. It really is fun. Quite surprised by how much fun the Golf R actually is. Right, now I've jumped into the Audi, and considering both these cars pretty much have the same chassis, they do feel a little bit different when you encounter a twisty road. Obviously this one, it's easier to change gear because I've got steering wheel mounted paddles, and while you've got the same levels of grip as the Golf, the steering doesn't seem to have quite so much feel to it. And like, here's a corner, if I lift off, now in the Golf I'd feel it tighten its line a little bit more than this one did. This car's just a touch more, let's say, inert. It's almost like I'm in the Golf, but I've gone and drunk a pint of beer because I can't feel things quite as much as I could before. I am not condoning drink driving in any way, shape or form. I'm just trying to give you an analogy. So yeah, it's not quite as fun on twisty road, but it's still fun enough for most people, and it's impressive. You can cover ground quickly in this car. And you've got to think about how you drive. So let's be honest, most of us, most of the time, drive like this on a straight road or in traffic. And that's where this Audi comes back at the Golf and is better as a cruiser. And then when you're just tootling along, the nicer interior of this Audi, the fact you somehow seem a bit more cocooned in it, it just feels like a more expensive car because the windows are a bit small. I don't know, it's the one I'd rather spend more time in. If my journeys were mainly on a twisty road, I would have the Golf manual. But for the reality of everyday motoring, I think this has the edge slightly as an everyday car that can mix it with performance cars when you need it to. I mean, that's fast around there in the wet, that's very fast. That's like 80 miles an hour around that corner. Yeah, you can't fault the performance. It does everything, this.
Really, these cars are so similar, yet have subtle differences which will appeal to different people. So then, what's my final verdict?
Well, if you're mainly going to be driving on twisty roads and you want the most fun car, then just get the Golf R with a manual gearbox. That's all you need. However, if like most people, 90% of the time you're driving on straight roads or in traffic, spend the extra, get the Audi S3 with the automatic gearbox because it's just nicer to spend time in. And that's why it wins this test.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it. Click on our logo to subscribe to this channel, on the video window for more content, and on the deals box to go to carwire.com to see how much you can save on a new car.